Hello, everybody. My name is Levphonic, and welcome to Cloud Tone Collective. So earlier today, I began working on a video for all of the Ableton 12.2 updates, which I will be doing a video on auto filter. Hilarious that I mentioned that. But yeah, it's something that has to happen. They have so many new features and so many cool things that it's going to have to happen. So just deal with it. But that's coming soon. I'll probably drop that sometime next week. I got word that we had a release come out. I work with a label out of Spain called Tataki Tapes, and we kind of focus on beats and just beat culture, lo-fi, hip-hop, trip-hop vibes, some obscure things. It's all kind of over the place, but it's all good musicians, and everybody, they're really dope. I like doing these compilations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down my song that I submitted for Tataki Tapes, OG Tapes #1. And my song is called We Ride. And it's a dedication to old school G-Funk. And I grew up listening to that. I was in middle school and high school when all that stuff started kicking off. And it really sculpted my musical mind and who I am today as a musician. A big part of it. So I love that production. I went back, broke out the Triton here, behind me, and really made an OG G-Funk song. And what I'm gonna do is break it down for you here today. So we're gonna switch over to my Ableton setup, and I'll show you exactly how we broke it down, and I'll hopefully have a better mic. I was just in the middle of switching some things over, but I have to record this and I have to do this. And like I said, Tataki Tapes, I will have everything linked. Shout out to everybody on the label. We ride. We ride. So let's go. We are now inside of Ableton. This is my session. I just named it Basic Stuff. I've named it G-Funk Session #2. Because I had another song that I was working on, and I was confused on which one I was going to use. I think this one came out a lot better, but the other one is actually really good too. I might use it for something down the line. This song started with the Rhodes here, and we had let's see, just a basic Rhodes, and it's the default setting on the stage 73V, which is an Arturia plugin. I love Arturia. They make it affordable for all of the people that want expensive synthesizers for a decent price, This is not an Arturia commercial though, so they are not sponsoring me. I just love their stuff. I also used an Arturia VCA, the VCA 65. I used parallel compression on it. If you listen a little bit, it adds a little bit of So parallel compression is a compression that runs parallel to the drive signal, enhancing it. So they also call it New York compression. It's a good way to kind of beef up the sound. You hear how it has like a saturation kind of almost distortion vibe to it. Makes the Rhodes a little more grimy. Just adds a little bit of that grit that I like when I want to have my Rhodes, a little more harsh, a little more vibey, as people like to say. Also, I think the second thing we had was a Prophet 5 here. This was the second instrument that I put into the vibe. Just an 80s synth lead on and with the tail with the black hole reverb uh from Eventide. This thing is amazing. My recording friend and label mate DJ Unwind has a real one, physical one, and I really fell in love with it when we were recording an album back in the day with it. And when I saw that they had a plug-in version of it, I was like, I got to do it, and it sounds remarkable. So I'm really happy about this thing. It's amazing. It has a very good has very good settings in it. It has very good presets, and I just really like reverbs and delays and things like that. And this has a lot of features in it that is pretty dang on amazing. So, like I said, this is the Prophet 5 Arturia again. I like to use a lot of stuff when I'm doing old school kind of songs. I like to go and dig through old school synthesizer sounds and figure it out, you know? Let's figure it out, man. Let's do it. This was the third sound I did. And this is called Desert Dreams on the CS80V, which is another remarkable synthesizer. If you know your history, they're dang on expensive as well too. Fifth sound, as you can see, I just kind of copied and pasted the Prophet vibes over and over again. I did start replaying and redoing some of the synth lines so that they would be a little bit different here and there. This was the next sound I made, piano. And that's just the piano V3. I don't calibrate my keys yet. Let's see. Yeah, Japanese classical clean. This is one of my favorite settings to go to, and I'll go and mess with the reverb and stereo width and the dynamics to make it sound the way that I really want it to sound. But it fits that room. I like the way they did this because it fits the sound of this piano. It makes it sound really good. Yeah, so the next thing we had was Pigments. Another Arturia plugin. Everybody loves Pigments. I love Pigments. And that was just Space Euphoria is the sound. And I was looking for something, and I did it in my head. I was like doing it, making the sound with my mouth. And when I came across this, it was the exact same thing I was doing. So I was like, oh, okay, ask and you shall receive, right? So, yeah, this was Pigments, Space Euphoria. And then the last little thing I did was from the Gasolina. And that, let's see, which channel was this again? Selena. There we go. And Selena is just an old virtual string machine. They actually have one of these at a pawn shop near me, and I keep slapping myself in the hand not to buy it. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't buy it. I have this version of it. It's good enough. I can make it sound really, really amazing with different things. And yeah, see, that one's kind of like dark. It's got a dark vibe to it. But yeah, I messed around with the dividers here. Drowning dividers is what it's called. I messed around with some of the sounds and the vibes here to get exactly what I needed out of it. And then from there, I went and did, let's see, I grabbed all of this. And let's play it together and see what happens. Let's see. This is where everything plays together on. So yeah, that's everything playing together. And being lovely, lovely, lovely. Sounds good. The next step, especially when you're doing G-Funk songs, old school G-Funk vibes, what you really want to do is you want to make sure that that bass is moving. So, first bass line I did, let's see, I can't remember exactly what I used here. Oh, yeah. Korg MS-20V. So yeah, here we go again. Arturia. I should be sponsored by Arturia, but I'm not. Maybe one day. But this was the bass line that I came up with. And with this one, with this particular bass line, I took some of the low frequencies out, doubled up the bass line, just copied it, pasted it, and then on this one, I focused my frequency on the lower end. So that way I could beef up the bass a little bit, put a compressor on there. The compression was called Transient Smasher. It just had the vibe that you need. And I added a little bit of compression to everything, and it kind of just sat right. So both of them playing together. You got that slappy top. Whoa, pause. You got that that slappy bass at the top end, and then at the bottom of it, it's more subby. But I didn't want it to be too subby because there's not a lot of old school OG like G-Funk songs they weren't super bassy. They had some elements of 808s in there sometimes, but it was very old school and not processed, not over processed. So I tried to keep that vibe about everything and not have it over processed. The next thing I did was kick the drums in. So I made kick drums and like dry 80s kick drums here. Threw in a clap. Sounds old school. Sounds 80s. The second clap is like a clap West Coast. I call it West Coast clap. That is from the Korg Triton. So when I plugged my Triton in, I started recording all of the sounds into here. As you can tell, they're all audio samples here. So what I did was I sampled all of the rest of the percussion and everything for the drums straight from my Triton. And let's see. I did it through MIDI too, so like everything was in step. There's a little latency between my Triton and here, so I had to figure some things out. But we got it all done. Hi-hats. There's a whole hi-hat kit inside of the Triton that's remarkable. There's just different versions of different hi-hats all across the keys, and you can play up and down. And they have different like kits and everything that make the hi-hats sound exactly the way you want them. So just an old school workstation synthesizer that, made a place in hip hop history, especially when it comes to this kind of music. We have the Shaker 1, Shaker 2, Triangle. I used the pitch kit for this. If you're familiar with the Triton, there's a pitched drum kit, and it has kind of like a weird, almost phase to it. It's like a flanger on some of the things, and it just gives it a little bit of movement, and fun stuff. Woodblock, woodblock was just it just self-explanatory. It's just a woodblock. Percussion instruments are very key to West Coast G-Funk music. They've always been. You can do little things, and the more nuanced they are and the more like peculiar they are, the better they sound throughout the song. So there's a couple of things here. I did the sub drop, and that's straight from the Triton. There's a drum kit on there that has that, and I had to gate it out because the cables that I have were giving this really low hum which was kind of cool, but I didn't need it all the way through. So I gated that, threw a drum bus on there, brought out the boom a little bit. And then the secret of the magic is in the saturator here. You drop the saturator in, and my favorite preset is a bit warmer. It works for keys, it works for synthesizers, it works for bass, it works for subs, it works for kicks, it works for everything to make everything just a bit warmer. It does exactly what it says, and that's my favorite preset. So even if you go in here and you wanted to save that as your default, you would just save default preset, and every time that you load this in, a bit warmer would come up. So that's how it is on mine. Anytime that I drop this in there, it's there. So once again, we'll grab all the drums. We'll select all the drums here. And then there we go. So you can see how it starts to fit together. And you got to have that groove to it. So if you add all three of those elements, the bass line, the synthesizers, all the accompaniments, and then you throw in these two little last guys here, I had to make sure that we had a good vibe going. Got to get a good riser. Almost Dr. Dre like. It almost sounds like the Chronic 2001. And then, of course, any song called We Ride, West Coast style, wouldn't be right without hydraulics. So hit the switch. You can make the booty drop. Man, I'm trying to do this for YouTube and be professional. And man, this is going to be fun because I curse a lot. But I'm going to try and fix that right now. So, yeah. Just threw a little bit of, on both of these, just threw a little bit of reverb on there through the send and return channels. And this is my go-to. Anytime I start up my template, I have Valhalla Shimmer in there. Mix at 100% wet, shift at an octave higher. Sometimes I'll switch it lower. And when you hear the effects from this, it always kind of vibes. Yeah. It's got a long reverb tail on there. The pitch, it gives you a pitch higher. And like I said, an octave higher. And it just kind of fills out different things. So once you run all of the songs and all of the elements together, you get... So yeah, that is the gist of the breakdown of this song. And with that being said, this was the breakdown, and We Ride is out on Tataki Tapes right now. There's a few cassettes left. I think they're almost all sold out. So I will link everything below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. And let's get these vibes going for the weekend. I got another video coming in a few days, and I probably will jump in and do a DJ mix on my other channel. So I'll link all that information as well too. Let's go. Let's have a good time. Everybody enjoy yourself. Be safe out there. I love you. Peace out. This has been Levphonic for Cloud Tone Collective. Thank you for joining me. We ride, we slide, we ride. We ride, we slide, we ride. We ride, we slide. Peace.